We're going live up in the top right-hand corner, and our podcast empire is live. Welcome to Hacking Business Technology. I am one of the 4 co-hosts that we're all here. It's all happening. Farah, Mark, Matt, we're all here. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
There's going to be fewer listeners than there are co-hosts on the podcast today.
No, then there will be more, because assumedly you guys are listening while you're talking, or hopefully anyway. I actually didn't put the link in the notes, and I've been so good about doing that recently, but I dropped the ball. We wanted to cover one specific blog post right away this morning. Doug Tedder had a blog post, and I'll put the links in the show notes below, but if you want to search, it's dougtedder.wordpress.com. And the title of his article, the reason that I feel the need to speak about it is because it's something that it's spoken about at every industry conference, and leaders all over talk about it. And it's this: we don't need another hero. We don't need someone that can save the day. What's your take on that general concept and idea?
I think. Go ahead.
No, ladies first.
Throw my lasso while you talk.
Intelligent people first, so because what I have to say is going to be very stupid. So
no, there's no such thing.
I might change my opinion after I hear you.
I think
it's happened before.
I think we very much need heroes. There's definitely a space for heroes. I think that if we didn't have heroes, we wouldn't have innovation in many ways, and that is a critical success factor. Now, the type of heroes he's talking about, okay, I can debate, but I think that those people are looking for an outlet, so we have to understand why they are resisting. Is it because they're really heroes and they're bad, or is it because our supporting processes don't embrace them and understand what their needs are, and kind of help foster them? And I'll just leave it at that because I see Matt nodding and Mark thinking.
Yeah, I love it. You hit exactly what I wanted to say. My initial impression was it's like this. My cousin's a policeman, right? And he was complaining to me one time when we were on the beach. He's like, I should have been a fireman. The firemen, they're heroes, and everybody loves them, and and they get to hug and kiss babies, and everybody hates cops, and because we give tickets. But policemen are heroes too, right? But that's the thing. It's because they're policing, or they're governing, or they're controlling instead of rescuing. It's this different perception, and I think it's almost it's the other way around in some of this stuff with IT. It's like, oh, you're a hero because you found these software licenses that we overspent on. Okay, everybody celebrates that, but the guy who jumps in at the middle of the night and fixes a server that went down, oh, we don't need heroes like that. Oh yeah, you do, and you better be glad you got them. But what you need to do is you need the other hero who's going to go slap the developers from putting in bad code that brought that server down.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Promote that talent. Give them more power.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Remember in the is it the Phoenix Project or Project Phoenix? I always get it wrong because he did change the name. I read the early release. It was actually originally entitled When IT Fails, but he thought he was going to get too much backlash in the industry. But that's actually a better title. I think his name was Brent. Brent was the hero, and the only guy who could go into the system and actually get the system online. But they finally they promoted him to get people, for him to get more mentoring and do other people's knowledge transfer and get the resources. And and it's a very realistic situation. I mean, everything in that book it's dramatized, but it's real, right?
It's so true. Well, yeah. Which really, Oh, go ahead.
There's a big difference between a hero and a cowboy. I mean, I don't think they're the same thing at all. So, I mean, cowboys are doing things for their own interests for the most part.
Profit.
Heroes are doing things because there's a need for the greater good. And if your process doesn't allow for heroes or heroic acts of any kind, then it's a bad process, probably, because there is no flair of innovation or even CSI. Isn't CSI just heroic acts to move a process forward? So
yeah,
I mean,
what we're kind of hitting on is the crux of process, actually, right? Flexibility of processes to to enable someone to go above and beyond.
Well, that's exactly it. Flexibility and agility, right? And we take it down to the most simplest layer. It drives me crazy when organizations focus on, well, the process said that you would, talk to a customer a certain way. They start measuring things like your handle time and stuff like that at a call center, and we're still so stuck on those metrics. And it's like, guys, what about the experience metric? Did the customer walk away with a smile? Did we actually improve? There's so many other angles, and this is the heroism that we need, is people who are willing to say, I know my process says that I have to do A, B, and C, but if I have to bend what I do in B because it involves improving an experience, then go for it. We need organizations to empower people to go for it.
Well, and honestly, I don't think there are that many organizations that have a hero problem. I mean, it's just a ridiculous argument.
Even in his article, he said, like, heroes are loners and they leave a mess behind them and all that kind of stuff, but that's not really the case. I mean, if you look at it, what others perceive as the hero are usually the ones who just didn't step up, right? Who got bogged down in the bureaucracy and in the process or policy, rather than thinking, hey, maybe we should really just bring that system back online and get workers back to work.
I mean, and I know that, like, the Avengers leave the whole city destroyed and in a mess, but let me just tell you that, like, Tony Stark documents his stuff. I mean, Jarvis, I want Jarvis. That should be my knowledge base.
I knew we were going to hear that on the podcast today.
Is that the Canadian Avengers?
No, but I totally. So let me ask you this then, as a counterpoint to the point, or to maybe just a reference point for it, is his blog post service management's problem with DevOps?
No, I think, well, I kind of get what he was trying to say, which is you need good teamwork, right? He was trying to say, basically, let's not get ourselves into everybody making moral judgments on the fly about which building should be saved for the better good of humankind, right? I get that. And that's not a bad position, and I think in DevOps they have the exact same position. Because DevOps, in a lot of ways, and the really good DevOps, heroes are ousted pretty quickly as he defines a hero. Somebody who goes rogue, or more as like Mark called cowboy, which, we'd have a lot of wandering deep if we didn't have cowboys, so I'm not sure we want to be dogging on cowboys. I think what we have to do is look back and say, DevOps, we don't want rogue people. We want people who are going to fall in line, collaborative, communicate.
Team workers.
Yeah. I know you're pushing the code, Matt, and I know why you're pushing the code. And I know, and you're going to, if I tell you, hey, don't push it, you're going to stop and go, okay, I'm cool with that because I trust you, you're my teammate. There's a good reason why you don't want me to do that.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, it really is like the Avengers. I mean, if you have a process where everyone's a hero, it can work pretty damn good,
Yeah, throw the truck because the Hulk's going to catch it. It's like...
Exactly.
Oh, man. This is getting super nerdy now. I don't think I can handle this episode.
Well, so talk about super nerdy. I mean, maybe this is when we break the news about me. Boy, the UK folks really love Star Wars, don't they? There was this
well, so do Americans. Come on.
I know they do. I know Americans do. I never really thought so much about UK folks loving Star Wars, and so my announcement of me joining Landesk was publicized with this coming home shot from why am I not thinking of his name? Han Solo.
Ian?
With yeah, the Star Wars trailer that came out. Hey,
I didn't realize. So they put a PR post out there, and it's got a Star Wars theme for hiring you.
It was just Melanie. It wasn't a PR post.
Oh, yeah, okay. But she made a Star Wars reference. So are you like they're saying that you are the next? You're the prodigal son. You're Luke Skywalker. You're gonna save us all.
I thought she was just calling me a mog. Half man, half dog. That was Spaceballs.
Yeah, that was Spaceballs. Good reference too, though. See, now, and I expect if I ever join a company that they would have a Spaceballs themed PR post.
Yeah, your password would be 1234. You know,
The monster comes out of my stomach.
I don't know who it was, but Stephen Mann jumped in, Barkley Ray. I mean, everybody was kind of jumping in, and someone called it out that Ian Atchison actually is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, he looks exactly like him, especially with the beard now.
And that English accent, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good call.
Wow. See, now they didn't even need to hire you. They could have just used Ian, right? I mean, help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope to compete against all the other tools out there. That's awesome. So congratulations on your move to Landesk. You know, I've been looking at their products for years. You know, they've been in this for forever. Largely in the remote access space and the asset management space. I think it's a great play for them to be in the ITSM space. I just wish that more people realized that and then moved into that from using them as a remote access tool and that sort of thing. So what did they hire you for? What's your goal? What are your objectives?
Well, that you just nailed it. So more people know that they actually have a product in the ITSM.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because in the
you
ITSM,
just told everyone, aren't they just watching the podcast and now everyone knows and you're done?
Yeah, the world is watching the podcast. But you know, their ITAM product is it is the Gartner Magic Quadrant leader, but it really is it's like the best discovery, the best reconciliation, normalization. It's like all these different tools we have to buy from different products to get them to work, to discover, reconcile, understand the maintenance agreements, tie back to the vendors for support costs, do financial. It's like all these different tools, and their product just does it out of the box, which is pretty incredible. So that's their go-to product right now, and I'm hoping that we can get some more exposure on the ITSM side of the house because that product's pretty sweet as well, and has some opportunity. So and
they moved up on the quadrant for ITSM a couple years ago. I think at the same time that Front Range moved down.
Yeah, the innovation side of the house. So they added the mobile capabilities were really strong. They added a bunch of analytics. They put in new front end, and they're still continuing to add a lot of value to that. But they'll the only way they're going to go up now is to the execution side of it, which is a bit of my role. So
maybe you can have really excellent alert sounds as part of the tool. You know, Star Wars themes, that would make support so much more tolerable.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told this story on this podcast before, but I know I've told it on one of my podcasts. There was a product called Indatico, and we used to joke Indataco was like how you spell it. And they were making storage systems that competed against EMC, and I kid you not, this is the truth. One of their sales pitches was an LPI factor. They had so many LED lights on their storage network, they called it light per square inch, LPI. So maybe should have been LPI. But the LPI factor was actually, they said, in the data center, when you buy all these storage arrays, and the CFO and the CEO come in and they see all these lights flashing, they think it's so awesome. Now, they did a purpose. They served a purpose. They were doing, like, if your array started to get corrupted, or if you were starting to get error rates on your drives, all the lights had they had a function, but it was really cheesy.
Yeah, because a layer of abstraction is really good. I would love to see the Rosetta Stone for the servers now, so I can figure out why the 7th light over 4th row down is flashing. Yeah, and then we wonder why there's a trust issue in this industry.
Exactly. Yeah. Or your data center person who's blind. It's like, well, it's not helping them.
Oh, man. And then, a couple of years later, someone came out with a Philips Hue, and they said, well, I'll just have a light at my desk, and it'll go red when the server's down, and then that's all I care about.
Well, man, now what's crazy is you don't see anything on any equipment because everything's virtualized. So it's just this big honking brick. And inside there are massive arrays of storage, network, and server, and there's no lights, there's no interface,
No, I mean, really what should be flashing there is Twitter and Instagram pictures of customers as they're using your product. I mean, you have an outage and you see a bunch of pissed off users on screens, then you might get to it, right?
That's the nirvana of BSM, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It should be better than that even, though. Like, you should just get a text message that says, hey, your service was degraded, so we spun up another server. And that's it. Like, It's just a message about an incident being avoided. That's the goal.
Yep.
You know what you should just do if you really want to boost your customer satisfaction? Just send them all a text message just saying, we just upgraded your service. Thank you for your loyalty.
Landdesk customers, you can expect an email on Monday.
But imagine if Facebook like sent you a text message, we just upgraded your service. You'd be like, yes, I just got free upgrade on
Facebook Pro. Facebook Pro. More ads.
Yeah, but I've been there when my ITSM tool was upgraded without telling me first, and it wasn't exactly a happy day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of story behind all of that.
Or just tell me.
But I digress.
Randomly just tell people, we've improved your performance. Let us know how things are working.
Yeah.
You wonder, you almost want to do that, what's that called, the placebo test, you know? Tell everybody, hey, we just improved your performance, and now go back and see how many people said, yes, this is so much faster. But
that would be so awesome.
Oh, it's totally.
No, you'd get thousands of emails of people talking about how it's not faster.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know. I like the theory, the placebo theory. I'm with Matt on that one.
Yeah. Well, but even if they say it's slower, like, no, it's not faster, it's way slower. It's like, but you didn't do anything.
Well, didn't Zappos do this with VIP.zappos.com?
I don't know about that.
They pretended to have a VIP sub-site, and it was a separate site that you would go to, and you would get overnight shipping and free returns and
Which is everything
something
you get
else.
Right?
And now you just get that. Like, everyone got that. And now it's actually just part of, if you're a VIP, you just shop on Zappos.
Right? They called it Prime.
That's so true. That is so true, because if you try to buy Prime stuff, it's so much more expensive because you don't have to pay shipping. Like, if you look at it, half the time it's not that useful. Maybe not half. Maybe it's probably more like a third, where you could buy it cheaper and wait an extra day.
Yeah, I would say a third, because I do compare Prime and non-Prime for that reason.
I was reading about the drone testing for Amazon Prime, and they were saying that you'll be able to have it delivered to your exact location without a physical address.
Using your geolocation services in your mobile?
Yeah. So we were wondering if this could be like when you're on the go, like if you're in a car and you have a sunroof, you can just have it dropped onto you or something. That'd be pretty awesome.
What if I buy you Anthrax, Mark? And have it delivered?
A drone going 70 miles an hour on the interstate drops it. It syncs up with your car, your self-driving Google car, and it says, we will link, just like they refuel jetliners.
Yes, right.
What I really wanted to do is
deliver you packages of fuel, and you put them into your car.
Yeah, or it can like use a box cutter and open it, and then just drop the actual product into my car.
You know, I've got friends who would buy me things to have delivered at the most inappropriate times with the most inappropriate gift. You know, what my buddies used to do when we had those Nextel phones. When we got the first time we got the Nextel phones, we could and you wait for somebody to go in line at like a Dunkin' Donuts, and you like chirp in their pockets and say, "Hey, beautiful, you know, nice legs." And the guy would be looking.
Oh man, that's cruel.
Yeah, I mean it's true though. I mean, when you have like less than 1 hour delivery, you can do a lot of fun things with it.
I recently started to have to pay tax on Amazon because they opened a distribution center in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Oh well.
Well, that was part of the deal. They made some arrangements so that if they start charging tax, they also, I don't know if it was in return or what, but they put up more distribution centers closer to major cities so that you could have same-day delivery. So they started some of that, literally same day, not next day.
Wow. Amazing. They're an amazing company.
Yeah, they are.
Owns Zappos. When we're talking about both of those guys, right?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see How does that work? How does the holacracy thing work? Do they report up? You know, the person inside of me who has seen mergers and acquisitions and the fallout therefrom would love to see how they're managing that
They're left
relationship.
alone, I think, though. Yeah, I think that was a pretty clear, we're going to own you, leave you alone, leverage what we can from Amazon to be more successful. But
They're sort of like an incubator.
yeah, it's a not broke, don't touch it situation, I think.
That's cool. And the realization that I'm coming to is that IT is quickly falling into this same boat. It's sort of like you've got this IT department that has less trust. Their primary objective for the last 5 years has been decrease costs. They don't innovate. They don't partner well with the business. And then a lot of times now you're seeing this other IT show up where they're like the incubator. We're the agile. We're the innovation center, and so we can get stuff done.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you were saying that. I was at this conference, and one of the guys was from Walmart, and he was saying that Walmart has chosen to not use the term shadow IT. They call it business IT, and they are saying, hey, it's going to happen, and businesses are going to buy their own IT. So let's step back and think about what our role is as a central IT organization, what we're going to do. And he went on to describe what I've been preaching about, how you have to be an enabler, you got to teach your capacity, control, availability, backup, you know, and they built this procurement system where business IT can go in, and they'll even help them shop and shortlist the vendors and bring them in and reconcile it if it's a product that they already own, or another business unit's already using a technology that could be the same and using it as an experience. It was awesome. It was so great. It was so good to hear. I mean, just very, you know, kudos to Walmart for being so forward-thinking and realizing, you know, to stay nimble at that size and that scale, you've got to think about the dimension of what your IT influence is.
Yeah,
that's really refreshing.
As a broker.
Yeah, a broker. Right, exactly, a broker.
Service broker. That's really refreshing. It's too bad that it's that company. I hope that they make better ethical choices because of it, and I think they actually are. I think they've been in the news a couple of times paying employees better.
Yeah, they're trying. You know, they're doing things to pay their employees better. They have a whole North American initiative now to buy more products and get more products that are built here in the U.S. so that there is, you know, an equalizing. I mean, obviously, you know, you get cheap products from offshore, but that also means maintaining your standards and quality of life, which is the problem with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Invest back in those societies, those cultures.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I mean, I personally have a love-hate relationship with Walmart. You know, I love their prices, but, you know, I hate that they put little businesses out of business.
They're unrealistic prices. You shouldn't be able to pay that little for natural resources.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not just competitors, but it's like you said, it's how people are being treated overseas in making these products as well.
And years ago, I fought Walmart because there's like only 3 towns or three towns in all of the United States that have like 2 Walmarts, and Raynham, Mass, which is where I live, was actually putting in their second one. And we had like, I don't know, 20,000 people in this town. It was like really small. So I was fighting the Walmart because they were going to come like right behind my house. It would cause people to come down my dead end street thinking they could get around traffic and whatnot. And while I'm fighting Walmart through whatever I could, you know, and blocking them from the zoning issues and stuff, here's my wife with our 4 kids going into all the Walmart that already exist to go shopping all the time. And she'd come back with all these Walmart bags. I'm just like, you know, I'm not like meeting with a local press person or, you know, doing these things. She's like, hey, I gotta buy stuff cheap. You got 4 kids, you know.
Yep.
It's tough to have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Feed them on a local dime, but you know it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. We've talked about it on the podcast before. Too big, must fail.
Yeah, but it's path of least resistance. You know, like my wife going to shop there. It's the same thing with businesses. Like if IT is so difficult to do business with, they're going to take the path of least resistance, which is go to Salesforce or go to Amazon or go to Workday or whatever they need to do and just, you know, get it done.
Yeah, the problem is when ethics get involved, because if if it comes down to just saving money and doing the right thing, you should do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that's something that globally our systems are broken because we've created this world where money is more valuable than people, and so I think that's the kind of thing that I try to break down a lot. But you know, this is hacking business technology, so what do we can't value people. We're just trying to make our systems better.
That's right. This isn't Life Hacker, so we're not going to do that.
Life Hacker. They never talk about that kind of stuff. They have really good tips and tricks.
It's more like my Life Hacker. No one else's life but mine.
All right, so that's it. We're going to stay under the half-hour mark this week. I swear to goodness it'll be done. Thanks for watching Hacking Business Technology. We'll see y'all next week.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.